Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering the World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blazed Bob. No Mel this week, she had to go out of town, but we do have Grays for Days. How you doing?
How's it going, guys?
It's going good, it's going good. First time having you on the actual show. We had you on the special show at TwitchCon, but this is the first time I think we're having you on the normal show, so welcome.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And returning, we have C-Dank. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Bobby. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Last time you were on talking about oh my gosh, I'm blanking. What was it called?
Blind, but I was also
Blind.
talking about how I used to sell accounts, and then I got crucified for that.
Did you really? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
No,
No,
it's okay, C-Dank. Even Alex admits to selling accounts. So
Well,
we were young. Like I have sold my very first one and then came back at TBC, and that's the one I have now. But I mean, I came from Ultima Online where it was allowed. Like you could sell anything on eBay. So I didn't even realize that it was a crime, like when I first did it in WoW. So yeah, I don't know. I think,
it's a hot topic nowadays.
I think a lot of people are they do it, secretly and then publicly condemn it. So yeah.
I love how we're jumping right
Like
into
the,
it. Are we talking about this today?
yeah, like the oh man, I can't stand gold buyers. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I'm not gonna name any names, but we all know. All right, well, guys, I'd like to start the show by thanking our tank patrons in Thick Lizzy, Croxford, Braxton, and Turtle Whale. I'd like to remind everybody that we stream the show live on Twitch, twitch.tv/blazinbob. That's BLAZZINBOB. So check that out. And if you follow us on Twitter, then you can see when we go live. Or if you join the Discord server, you can see it there too. We're going to start out the show with voicemails. Then we're going to just skip to the news, and then we're going to go into discussion after that, and we're going to talk about what we've been doing, because I'm pretty sure all of us have just been playing like nonstop hardcore. So it's not going to be much Wrath at all this show, guys, and I know you guys have been complaining about that, but hardcore is hot right now. We'll talk about Wrath next week. ICC's out. We'll be able to get people in that have been on the PTR, everything else. So sorry, but I mean, we talk about what we're doing on this show, and right now we're doing hardcore. So with that being said, you guys want to hear the first voicemail?
Let's send it.
All right. Here it comes.
Hey, Mel and Bob and Jeff. This is Gypsel. I've something before, but I'd like to leave something else. A little bit of copium, a little bit of hopium.
Can you guys make that out?
Yeah, copium, hopium.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a little scuffed.
Yeah, it's a bad connection, I'm pretty sure.
For this possible Classic Plus that, might happen. I've heard a lot of different ideas for possible classes, and thought this would be something fun. I thought this class would really make sense, because there's monks running around in all of throughout Classic. You see the mobs using different abilities, and so I thought monk would be a good one. There are times on the podcast we've heard people say that there was a need to think.
I don't know, guys. I can't make this out well at all.
He's talking about monks, or
yeah, I think he's saying like he's talking about Turtle WoW and how they added more classes. Let's just stop it there and be like, he's just asking what class would be cool for them to add in, class or race for them to add in to Classic Plus.
Necromancer, done. I want an undead pet.
Okay.
Class or race added to Classic. I heard some really good ideas in the past.
I've been playing a lot of
added.
Baldur's Gate. There's like classes I never even thought about, like cleric and stuff like that. Could be kind of cool, but I don't know, man. Like adding new classes in always seems like it always playing Wrath right now and just hating that DKs are so awesome. Like new classes usually get that treatment.
Is the new class going to be better or worse than Rogues and Warriors with world buffs? I would rather them do something about the Rogue and Warrior world buff class stacking than adding a new class.
Yeah,
I feel like if they added a new class, it would have to be badass enough to,
well, Monk would probably scale pretty good too, just like a warrior or a rogue would.
You just kept it all the same, yeah.
Let's just get the Draktheirs in there. Let's get the evokers. Let's bring them in the classic, man.
Okay.
Holy shit.
What about those little things in retail, the little fox people?
Oh,
I have no idea what they're called.
Dude, this is like blasphemy. All the classic, all the classic Andes.
Oh, dude,
are just burning right now.
Everybody knows this show. We try not to badmouth retail, but we don't like retail, and it's a game for other people. It's like I don't say it's bad. I don't like Call of Duty either, but like, a bunch of people love that. But yeah, we tried.
I'm okay with all the games. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Retail
try not
sucks.
to like. Yeah,
All my homies hate retail.
I don't like it at all, but
Everybody loves to hate on everything.
Yeah, I just hate to like. I hate to make people mad, so I just usually try to not talk about it. But I don't know. Something like Turtle WoW has ogres, and the model's just too big for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like the torrent, I already feel is pushing it for a player played character, like with the size of them.
Right.
I don't know, if I would
have
like.
you seen it? Maybe somebody can help me out here. There's a mini ogre-sized model in Classic, by the way. Like
There is. You're right.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen him.
But I can't think of where he is.
Like
the advisor for the king and tribute. Is that what you're talking about? Or
yeah, maybe so.
I think
the one
that
that
might be
runs by
one
you or
of them.
runs up?
Yeah, that is one of them, right?
Gives you the buff. Yeah.
I've seen them in other areas too. Like,
Well, it could work.
yeah, I guess.
could work.
Yes, I guess you made it smaller.
Other than Turtle WoW having the ogres and dude, one thing I've heard about Turtle WoW, everybody loves all the changes. Like I swear I never hear anything bad about Turtle WoW.
I know,
it's because
same.
the people that are talking about it, but like maybe it's the, like he said earlier, I don't know if it's hopium or copium, Turtle WoW. Like I don't know if those guys are just fully masked up whenever they're playing this game, but it's funny that I never hear anything bad about the server.
Yeah, I've heard only good things too, but I just don't play. Like right now, I've got actual classics, so I play that. So, but all right, well, let's move on to the next voicemail.
Hey, Mel, Bob, and guests. Something hit me yesterday while I was at work. I'm a welder, so all I do is just sit here and think about World of Warcraft. It was 17 years ago yesterday that South Park came out with their episode of Make Love, Not Warcraft. They predicted hardcore. If you think about it, that episode was all about hardcore because when they died, they were dead. And I had to grind mobs to get up to level to kill the bad dude. Just thought it was interesting. Want to give a shout out to Give Me the Loot on Windseeker. This is Vicky. Thanks.
So all I can imagine is him welding and just pulling up that like helmet thing they have and going, mind blown. Just thinking about that.
this guy sounds like he plays on Skull Rock. He sounds like he plays Horde on Skull Rock, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's interesting because they did die for good. there. Like, I never really thought about that when
yeah, kind of reading between the lines. Maybe they just saw it being like better designed that way. And like for people that watch South Park and don't know what the hell World of Warcraft is, it would make sense if your character dies. Life is kind of over.
Yeah. I mean,
It was probably easier to portray in the episode, but I also it's fun to think about the idea of them foreshadowing hardcore servers.
Yeah, I think of little Cargos sitting there watching it going,
Yeah. What if? Yeah.
What if? But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too. But there wasn't really a question there, so I'm going to play the next one.
Hello, Adonis calling. I would just like to remind you, Bob, because I've been listening to your podcast right now. You're talking about Chris Metzen. He came back 6 or whatever months ago. He actually never left Blizzard. He's the voice of Thrall. At least I think. I'm pretty sure he's been the voice of Thrall the whole time. I don't think he ever actually left Blizzard. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to do more research. Also, my real question is 10-year anniversary or 20-year anniversary of World of Warcraft is coming up this BlizzCon. What do you...
I'm going to pause it here real quick, though. I'm going to give you a little bit of shit. And you're that guy that's, well, actually, this didn't happen this way. It happened this, and this way. But no, I appreciate it. But let me clarify it for you. He was still a contractor for Blizzard. All of their voice actors are contracted. They're contract labor. They don't actually work for Blizzard. I just know this because I fell in love with all of the Overwatch voice actors, and going to all of their panels at BlizzCon over the years and talking to them directly, I learned how it worked. So I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think he was actually employed at all after he left and retired. I think he would just come in if needed. And from my understanding in retail, Thrall's been gone a while, I think. But I could be wrong about that too. I have no idea. But let's hear the question.
Do you think maybe they might create a new World of Warcraft game, like with better updated graphics and all that stuff? Or maybe even, I don't know. I don't think we're going to get a Classic Plus because the WoW token for Classic kind of fell on its face and not a lot of people enjoyed getting the WoW token. And I think personally that the WoW token was, in a way they were like, hey, we're making money off of Classic. It was like a way to like please the investors maybe, or I don't even know. But the fact that nobody bought the WoW token, I feel like we could just kiss Classic Plus like goodbye. It's never going to happen. But I mean, I'm hopeful. I would love to see like a Classic Plus or maybe even like a different turn other than, Cataclysm, Mists of Pandaria. I would like to see them maybe do something else. I'm not sure. I would just like to hear your thoughts and the guest thoughts on what do you think's next for, Classic World of Warcraft? Because eventually, I mean, they're going to run out of time. I'm telling you right now, nobody's going to want to play Warlords of Draenor again.
I don't even want to play Cataclysm if I'm being honest. But I mean, I'll probably try out the raids, but I don't. Yeah, that's still an up in the air thing. But he makes an interesting point about like them testing the waters for the token. But I don't know. Like some of the rumors that I have heard is that Classic Plus will be a whole new boxed, game, like a $49.99 price tag on it. So that would be a way to monetize it right there. So I don't know that they would need the WoW token at all. And I think it would be a really, really bad idea to put it into vanilla.
Yeah, I would rather just pay up front than get nickel and dimed. You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%. But I think Classic Plus is like inevitable, just with the success of it.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. How big is Classic Plus going to be? And I also want to, I feel like the guy that was given the question, like, it was very you're just looking for something new. You want that WoW 2 coming out. And I feel like I always wanted that with 2019 Classic too. And if I didn't get, the version I wanted or a new game to play, I would have just quit. But I really do feel like with Hardcore, we kind of made fun in the game, right? Like if I didn't have Hardcore, I probably just would have moved on. And so I feel like I had that perspective that this guy has for the longest time. It's like, man, Blizzard needs to make another World of Warcraft. They need to make Classic Plus. They need to release a new expansion. They need to do all this stuff. And I feel like you just get let down, bro. If you're going to wait on Blizzard to do something, I'm sure they can make a great product. But what worked for me was playing for fun or approaching the game differently. On these hardcore servers, playing a solo self-found run, right? And it's totally self-imposed. And that's where I'd like find the most satisfaction or fulfillment out of the game. I just feel like you're disappointed if you wait on Blizzard to make a product. And I feel like a lot of people have always had that take, I can't wait to see what Blizzard does next. What's the next big thing? I just feel like you're always going to be let down. Okay, but I don't mean to be a doomer, but how far do they take Classic Plus realistically? Because they're not going to make are they going to make a WoW 2?
I mean, I don't know, man. I go back and forth on these things. Like, I think Classic Plus could be just them actually completing all of the stuff that didn't get completed in our original Classic, like
so not a WoW 2, just a Plus.
Yeah. I don't think a WoW 2 is really the thing. And if it was, I almost feel like it'd be better as a single player game, if that makes sense. Like with like the new graphics, like it would be really cool to have like a Skyrim type of World of Warcraft where you do go to Orgrimmar, you do go to Stormwind, you go through a story. Like that would be fun for me.
That's interesting.
But I like the old graphics. I don't like the new retail graphics. Like everybody runs like a cartoon. They run super fast. Bouncy. Yeah, very bouncy. Very bouncy.
I'm with you, and I think there's room for both a Classic Plus and like a new step forward for WoW. I think that they've been talking about these things for probably the last decade plus. You know what I mean? So anything that we're talking about, there's people who are employed full time to like speculate about these things, right? So these conversations have definitely been happening. I think WoW 2 isn't like an if as much as a when. Same with like Classic Plus. I think it's all on the pipeline. It's just a matter of Winky's here.
Winky's here.
Oh, hey guys.
Yo.
Welcome. You're gonna have to show your camera.
I can't turn my camera on because I'm at work and I'm just gonna talk in between other meetings I'm having. But
perfect.
Do you think on the topic you're currently on, do you think Blizzard would ever dare to improve graphics on Classic, or do you think they're gonna save that as like something they pull out of their pocket for WoW 2? You know what I mean? Because I feel like a big selling point of a new MMO from their company would be, hey, look at these new graphics,
Have you, Bob, I wish you could bring it up. Have you guys, you should Google Unreal Engine 2 Elwyn Forest.
Oh yeah. I've looked at all that stuff. It looks amazing. That's what I was thinking, single player game, right? Like that'd be an immersive thing like I'd love, but I don't know. There's something MMO. I don't know. The WoW graphics just work. Like I've always said though, if they did want to update the graphics in Classic, I wish they would do it like a lot of games that get redone, where there's a toggle switch. Like I played the Secret of Monkey Island is old ass game, but they redid it for Xbox, like their little like 10 and like $15 games, and you could toggle between the old and the new graphics, and that wouldn't hurt anybody. Everybody would just get to play what they want to play, right?
Look at D2R, Bob. The remake of Diablo 2 is incredible. It's the best remake of any game I've ever played. And it has a graphics toggle. It's crazy. The graphics toggle, when you go back and forth, you go down to like 16-bit graphics, like straight up to HD. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I think that could be cool, and that could make both parties happy. Like one of the things I don't like going into Kata is transmog. Like, I just figured it'd be easy for them to put a switch in that says you either see transmog or you don't. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, you are one of the weirdos that doesn't like transmog.
Yeah, everybody else likes it. I think only
Wait, do you like
Jordy.
transmog?
I do.
Transmog is
Yeah,
bad, dude.
I like transmog.
I don't like transmog.
I'll tell you why I
No,
like transmog though. I like the idea that transmog gives players another thing to do at the end of the game, right? It's the fact that you get to go collect all these items and like get the appearance unlocks. Like that is another iteration of like things to do at endgame other than get world buffs and then log out and then go raid, right?
Do you think Classic needs transmog? Because I think there's a lot to do at endgame already, and I don't need transmog. I
think.
Well, and I don't want transmog. Like, unless if you can toggle it, then I could have it on and off. Then I could enjoy like a transmog competition or something. But you can still do a transmog competition just by getting the gear. You can just go get the gear, but then you have to have it in your bank and everything. But
yeah, I think there's something to be said about the way gear looks in Classic and what the visual implication of a character looks like, even though they look stupid, right? I'm thinking of things like Pepto Bismol Warrior, right? And it's like the beauty of Classic. It's the same with Diablo 2, right? There's no transmog in Diablo 2, but there's transmog in Diablo 3 and Diablo 4. And the beauty of it is these ugly items that no one likes the way they look end up becoming like the sought after items. And people respect how stupid it looks, whether they think they like the way it looks or not. They respect the character with that gear on because they know the value or how good that gear is. It's the same in Diablo 2, right? You've got like this ugly ass vomit green flap that you put on your head called a Harlequin Crest Shaco. And everyone hates the way it looks, but everyone respects that it's dope looking, right? Because I guess that's the way I look at transmog.
I don't know. In Diablo 4, I changed my transmog once, and now I have no idea what anything I've put on looks like after that. I said it and forgot it. Like, I was like,
even
okay.
When I played Diablo 4, I purposely did not transmog my gear until I got into the end game because I wanted to see what all the gear models looked like, you know?
See, I didn't think about it. I was just like, oh, I'll do this. Okay. Oh, that looks cool. All right. And I just left it. I don't know. I think also Classic Plus could be Wrath.
Man,
Pivoting, in a different direction rather than Cataclysm. I mean, I really love the rotations in Wrath, like, and how so many like specs are viable. I'd love that for Classic Plus if it starts in vanilla, if that's the way they're going with it.
well, it's like I heard this morning, I was just reminded, like, well, Classic Plus, they should change all the quest rewards. They should make the professions better while leveling. They should, like, you get some 3 strength, 8 stamina leather boots from a quest reward. And it's like, that's trash, right? That's bad game design. They should change that. But like in a weird way, bro, that's what makes the good items good. You have all these trash quest rewards, and then you find Trip Runner dungarees in Anomorgan. And now that the game is figured out, it kind of seems like, oh, that's kind of messed up. Everybody goes and gets Trip Runners, but that's how the game was originally designed, and that's what makes it good. So then we start adding transmog to this Classic Plus, and everybody looks badass. Everybody gets good quest rewards, and then all of a sudden, it's not Classic anymore.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to be Classic Plus, so I don't know what you're supposed to look forward to.
It's a really good point. Like if for there in order for there to be good gear, there has to be bad gear to compare it to.
That's a concept that's hard to like wrap my head around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but it's true because like there's like almost nothing that like I go and raid, and it's almost like in Wrath, it's like, whoa, a bad item. Yeah. This trinket is actual dog shit. Wow.
Yeah, I remember we were playing Classic Hardcore forever, and we did Wailing Caverns runs, and there's these white shoulder pads that always drop off the first boss. I was like, dude, I wish there were good shoulder pads off this guy. And then in TBC, they're blue shoulder pads with 7 agility, and I'm like, holy shit, dude. I mean, these are amazing, but now everybody gets blue shoulder pads at like level 15 with 7 agi. Like, it's great, but is this really what I wanted? It is good though, but for some reason it felt too strong. I don't know.
I think anything they do with Classic Plus, they need to like somehow stick to the original game design or just interpret it as best they can. Like what were they trying to accomplish? And anything they do needs to like align with that philosophy. Otherwise, it's not going to be, truly classic. It'll just be.
That's why Chris. Yeah, exactly. Like that's why he's key, and like that's why I have faith it could be something really cool.
Dude, I feel like WoW fans have been coped out for years, bro. Thinking they're gonna get a good product. Is this another?
Hey man,
is Chris really gonna be the one that does it, man? Is he really change it?
I mean, he was one of the main guys that came up with the entire story, man. Like,
yeah. It should, but it's not the same company. Can he do whatever he wants? Like,
I don't know. And it's going to Microsoft really soon here too. So
that might be a plus.
I just watched a YouTube video. I don't remember by who, so maybe someone can like comment or something and say if they remember. But it was essentially this guy going into how gaming in 2022 and 2023 is terrible, right? And I think
I watched it too.
I think that the Metzen coming back is like a perfect example of what this guy was talking about with his YouTube video, where it's like all creativity in gaming is gone. The AAA titles are all terrible. And the only people that are innovating the gaming space are indie companies, right? And then AAA titles steal the indie companies' games ideas and then do it better or do it with a bigger budget, right? Not necessarily better. So it's like, it's this weird thing where it's like you've got Blizzard, right? And you've got classic WoW, which is in probably all of our opinions on the show, the better version of WoW compared to retail, right? Because when it was made by people that wanted to play it. Like it was made by people that were dreaming about a game that they wanted to play that would be amazing for them to play. And it's weird to see this, $1 billion company bringing back one of the original developers of the original game, because it almost feels like the billions of dollars, you just can't buy a good idea, right? And it's almost scary that you have to have someone like Chris Metzen in order to sell the dream of the copium of the next release is actually going to be good, right? It's a weird environment, and I'm not sure I like where it's at. Like, in the industry, you know what I mean?
Wiki's got the doomer take.
So, like basically, like Baldur's Gate gives us a ton of hope. Like, it gives us a ton of hope at what like companies might be held to, like a standard companies might be held to in the future. But you can tell Baldur's Gate was made by people who wanted to play the game, right? Like, and what you're talking about is true. Like, there's so many game devs that go in to like doing that job that fall out of love with gaming and like aren't really like into it. You know what I mean? Like they're not like, so it's weird.
They are, but they're just locked down by corporate policy. They're locked down by corporate greed. They're not allowed to do anything because it's not pushing the next microtransaction, you know? There's a game that came out recently by a guy who's like the lead coordinator for like a large, he's a microtransaction like contractor that game developers hire because he knows how to make microtransactions that sell, right? So he, as an example to show how crappy the industry is, he made a game using all of the tactics that he teaches these big AAA title companies how to use for microtransactions. And it's all hilarious. And you don't have to spend any real money on it. It's like fake real money. But by the end of the game, you've spent like $80,000 of quote unquote, USD to get through this game. And it's because the way he designs it, you don't even know that you've spent the money. And then when you beat the game, it tells you how much money you've spent. It's insane.
Well, dude, okay, you want to know something crazy? I don't play mobile games now because I got burnt by Clash of Clans. So I played Clash of Clans for like a year, and I never paid to like upgrade buildings or anything. I just, like once or twice twice a night, you can, you can do it as much as you want, but you like pay like a small amount, like $2 per barracks to boost it, so that instead of doing one attack and then having to wait an hour for my army to refill, I could just do attack, come right back, attack, come right back, attack, come right back, attack. And I could just play.
Just right there, Bob, with what you just said. Like, that's so screwed from a developer point of view.
Just listen, though. It gets worse. So I told Mel, I was like, I don't spend much on it. She's like, yes, you do. She went through the bank statements. Turns out that year I'd spent almost $4,000 on it.
Oh my God.
In little $2 increments. Like, and I do like 5 barracks, it'd be $10. I wouldn't even think about it.
Think about it, boys. This is pixels. This is lines of code. Okay. No. This is, bro, they put a fake cooldown on the actions you can take in the game. Why? Not because it overloads the servers, because they want you to pay money to play the game.
Yep.
It's fake, dude. Anytime you download an app and you see an energy bar or a fake cooldown on something, just delete the app.
Well, the same thing happened to me with Hearthstone
now.
Arena. Hearthstone Arena costs coins, and then it would be $2 a draft. And I ended up spending like $150 a month on Hearthstone Arena matches, man. And it's like,
yeah, but
dude, what sucks.
Imagine taking a turn in Hearthstone, though, Grays, and then it being like, you've ran out of energy. Wait 4 hours for your next turn. Or pay $2 to refill your turn counter.
Well, what sucks, though, is like Hearthstone started out, I think, really good, because basically I played it all up until the troll patch. Like, I don't know. I haven't played for years, but like I played for a few years, and it was great. Every 3 months, or every 4 months, a new thing would come out. I would spend $60, and I would get the cards, and then I was able to disenchant all the older cards that you couldn't use in ranked, and get every card that I needed for any deck. And that was every 4 months, $60. It's like buying a new game every 4 months. Like, and it felt fair. Now Hearthstone does not feel fair, like Gray's talking about.
Yeah. I've slowed down. I only play like the free battlegrounds, and
don't even get me started, man.
I only play arenas when I have the coins for it. I don't pay for it anymore. But that's the closest thing I've ever had to like falling into the microtransaction trap. But Hearthstone actually felt good.
Currency in video games, I agree. This is an Asmongold take that I agree with. I think currency in video games should be illegal. It should be regulated by the federal government.
100%.
Just give me dollars. Give me dollars.
A lot of these tactics that they use, they are exploitative, and it all should be illegal. It's like they're what they're doing is they're opening the book of psychology, and they're finding ways to exploit the human brain in order to extract maximum amount of like money out of it. You know,
do you need 7 coins for this item? Okay, cool. Well, you can buy 7 coins, but you can only buy 5 coins at a time.
Right.
Yep.
I don't doubt that they're
purchases.
Doing that. I don't doubt that they're doing that, but every YouTuber that makes a YouTube video follows the algorithm in the script that louches you to the should that be? I mean,
yeah, but
maybe that's not exploitative and being taken advantage of, but everybody's gaming the system.
Yeah, but they're not like directly taking money from the bank account of probably people under the age of 18, and often like a kid playing on their iPad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, mom, can I go get three epic V-Bucks?
Well, that's the parents' problem, though. It's the same thing with like YouTube regulation, and why wouldn't it be regulated?
Because Fortnite should just come out. Epic Games should just come out and say, instead of saying this is 800 V-Bucks, they should say it's $10, $10. This is what it cost, and then the kids can go do whatever it is. Hey, mom, can I have $10?
Yeah, it would be a lot more fair, I think.
Behind this weird other currency that you have to pay money to unlock the currency and then use that currency to buy something is shady, dude. It's super shady.
You will never spend all of your currency. You will always have currency left over.
Uh-huh.
Always. They game it specifically, so you always have just a little bit left over. So you're like, oh, okay, well, I'll go ahead and buy another. And then you get something and then you got, still have leftover. You're still, giving them just a little bit for nothing.
Bro, it's like there's games where it's like you spend $1, you get 1,000 coins to buy these eShop items. And then kids are like, oh, what? It's only $1. Can I $1 for 1,000 coins? And it's like, bro, just tell them just make it $1.
Yep.
I don't understand why I know why they do it. They're trying to use psychology to exploit whoever's playing the game.
Well, I hope that answered your question.
Where do we even start? How do we get here?
Let's do this. Let's do the last voicemail here real quick. Mega Man's in the chat. I hope this isn't Wrath related, Mega Man, because these guys aren't gonna. I didn't look at it because I trust you, but
Bob, Mel, and
we'll
Jeff.
see.
Hello, it's been a while. I was determined to get a question, guys. Anyway, so my question is regarding, I guess, an idea, or may or may not be announced or happen at BlizzCon. We all know that we're probably getting Kata Classic. They've done everything but announce it. But my question is not necessarily where the line ends or where it should end. Is there a world where all the bad expansions Blizzard can make good? It's no secret that WoD, and especially Shadowlands and BFA, have a bad reputation. But is there a way, do you think, the WoW player base, regardless of which part of Classic, where they go, dang it, I didn't play it, I've heard nothing but bad things, but after hearing what Blizzard does to it, I have to play this now. Whether that be whatever, like take your pick of expansion, put that title on it. That's my question. Because I'll be honest, and really hot take what I'm about to say, outside of no RDF at the beginning of Wrath, all the changes have been good for the game overall. Even the token, because real talk, let's be honest, it's used for mostly to make the game free to play for players.
I mean, I guess I play free now because of it.
And it's very accessible. So that's my question. Do you think it's possible for, regardless of how you feel about future expansions, for Blizzard to change them where, like, dang it, I gotta play it. I didn't even like it, so I've never played it, but I gotta play it now because of what Blizzard did or announced. So, anyway, that's pretty much my question. Or I guess, what is your thoughts? Like, could you see it? Like, is that something you could even picture happening? But, like, that's my question. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a good show. This is Mega Casual. Sign out.
I don't think so. And I'll just give one reason. Like, the reason Classic WoW is so good is one of the biggest reasons is the huge, like, the huge world, the big world. Like, and all the expansions have smaller worlds, like, it's like, it's a for sure add-on, but like, unfortunately they all killed the old world, like most of them, although you can still, believe it or not, all the old mats sell really good on the auction house, like all old mats, old things. Like, there's still people that farm everything all over Azeroth, but it's a dead world. Like, how do you get a vibrant world going? Like, you always have to have fresh.
It's fun. The expansions are flawed fundamentally in a way that you can't patch over. Absolutely.
Grace, Wiki. Oh, we might have lost Wiki.
Oh, sorry, I'm macaroning Bulbka right now.
Are you seriously?
Blessing. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry. We're about to step into Nax. I kind of missed the question.
Oh,
I'm currently MC capping an alliance player in Crossroads. Oh my god! And he just played.
Can you paraphrase the question real quick, Bob?
Just like, is there a way Blizzard can make future expansions are like all the expansions better, so that classic Andes that love vanilla will like them. And my thought was they're just flawed in the sense that it's a small world.
Well, I think, yeah, I agree with that actually. But I think there is a way to do it. I don't think that they want to do what they wanted to do, right? Look at the word expansion in entirety, right? Like, look, an expansion is supposed to take what already exists in the game and add something to the end of it, right?
Exactly.
It's supposed to, so that's what they're doing, right? Like when TBC came out, of course they added, TBC, which is everything that we've seen from TBC. But another thing that they could do, and they kind of did this in Kata, but they royally screwed it up, is in Classic WoW, the world is more of a character than you are, like your actual character, right? Like the draw for many people, in my opinion, for Classic WoW is the world, right? So if you come out with an expansion, let's say they come out with like TBC Plus, and they add just as much content to the old world as well as the TBC content at the end game, then you're truly expanding Azeroth, right? If you add another leveling dungeon, like you add Gilneas, like shout outs, Turtle WoW, right? You add Gilneas, you add the Stormwind Jail, as like a, medium to high level, whatever, right? Like add these dungeons and like increase not only the new area for the end game, but like increase the things that you can do in the already existing world. And that's something that they never really did to begin with.
Yep.
They just focused on end game.
Well, and like Ultima Online had a lot of expansions, but the old world was still viable because they never changed the max level. Like they did some tweaks where you could like shift skills to become even stronger, but like it was all of the dungeons that released with the game were still viable later. They just added new bosses to them, different things like that, and like so the world still was alive. Whereas in Wrath, you level up a tune and you're lucky to see somebody once, every 4 hours.
I mean, I kind of wish that they did some weird changes just to test it and see what happens, that like incentivize high level players going back to the low level zones. Like let's say Black Lotus spawns in Elwyn, right? Like just something, like do something to let the people who are capped out on leveling still be in that world and still interact with people that are leveling in Desolace or Tenaris, or they're not just flying over these zones. It is cool though to be a low level character on your first playthrough and like see a high level character like fly over the top of you on a griffin.
Well, that was what drew me in originally, being a gnome and walking up to Gnomergan and going down that hallway and seeing skull mobs. I was like, holy shit, dude. Or if you're in Elwyn and you go across the river and you see Duskwood skull mob wolves. But this was related to like adding this to a Classic Plus, or
well, no. They were saying how to make the other expansions more intriguing to Classic people, to people that love Classic. I think
I don't know.
I had oh, go ahead.
I don't think it's even worth considering. I think that Classic Plus just does that better.
I had a weird thought. I forget. I think I said it on an episode a few weeks ago or something. But okay. Did you guys ever play The Legend of Zelda?
Of course.
Okay, so the first one you would beat it, right? And then you would get a whole new world that was the same world, but all there were little differences. All the secret entrances and stuff were all moved, and it was like the same game but different. What if they had it to where you could after you leveled up to max level, you could port over, and every zone was max level?
Well, I feel like then you'd really be screwing over the low level population of the player base, right? You'd be just splitting the player base in half by like low level, high level.
Yeah.
If you've got all the high level characters running around in an alternate dimension, right? It'd be even harder to keep the world feeling alive.
Yeah.
It
What
would be
if,
cool
we're
though.
talking-
Just
I
like
swear, bro.
Elwood Forest having like 50 to 60 mobs. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of
Well,
neat.
it's like that. It's like that in retail, right? Doesn't every
Right,
mob scale
everything
with you?
scales.
I did not know that.
I think so. So what I was gonna say was, well, who wants Classic Plus? What if Classic Plus was the next retail expansion? Because I swear, bro, like vanilla WoW Andes, Classic Andes, they don't even want Classic Plus. They think it's gonna ruin vanilla. They just want a 2019 release. What if retail is like, okay, maybe we do maybe that's the next expansion is Classic Plus. They started over and
WoW 2, which would be WoW 2, right?
there it is. Okay, there it is. Dude, that's another thing too. Like, what are the definitions of all these things? Like, whenever people talk about Classic Plus or WoW 2, like everyone's talking about something different.
It's
Nobody
different
knows.
for everybody. Yep.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
problem with that is that it's the same problem Blizzard's been facing for years. Everything that people want is different for everyone, and you'll never be able to please
Right.
anyone. Like
Right.
they make what they think is the best product for the player base, but then the player base all hates it because it's just not what anyone wanted, right?
Well, you have to like go hard in one direction rather than try to please a lot of people. You just try to please
Yeah.
like a subset of them, you know?
Yeah, you gotta, but then you end up with RNG mechanics and casual player base that's dominating the game, and then the people that are putting in the hours don't get the benefit for the hours that they're putting in. It's such a hard thing to balance. I don't envy developers of any game.
Yeah, they've got it rough.
It's interesting. I do think the retail should die.
Not just so like I agree with the Asmongold take that they should like Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn it, where there's just like fucking just drop a meteor on this bitch and start over.
Yeah.
Like,
I think.
I mean, they
retail
already
is-
put a sword through it, right? So
Well, it's just weird at this point. Like retail WoW is just weird.
it is so weird.
Yeah.
So many. It's so bloated. Like
Yeah,
I've been calling it bloated since this podcast started. It's just bloated.
It's like getting a new girlfriend who has 20 years of baggage of ex-boyfriends and like PTSD that you're trying to carry with through a relationship. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, that
Like-
was not a very flattering description of retail.
Yeah, but that's what it is, dude. It's like, and at some point it's just like, bro, like
Well, and they
just
can't
lock
get
it down. Just marry the girl, lock it down, call it good, and then come out with WoW 2. You know?
and they can't get new players from what I've heard. I don't know. So this is just going by what a lot of like retail people have said. If you start a new character, it's so confusing, like where you're going, what you're doing, like, and I guess now you can work up in any expansion you want, like, but it's just like throw someone new in there and they're like, huh? And then I've heard like even the like hardcore PvPers are like, dude, who's gonna start this game where you have to know all this shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
There was a Twitter thread I was following, I think 2 weeks ago, where this girl is like a lifelong WoW player, retail, and her boyfriend had never played. So and he's like an avid gamer, right? So she like chronologued his journey of playing WoW as someone who has never played, never really watched WoW streams before, like never touched the game, right? And he played it for 2 weeks and then was like, this is the worst game ever, and quit. And he didn't say it was bad from a gameplay perspective. He said it was pretty fun from like a gameplay perspective. He essentially like every day was just like, I'm learning 85 new mechanics per day and I don't know where to go and I don't know what to do. And everything's everywhere.
and I just warp everywhere. I don't know where anything's at.
Yeah, and like, how do you get a feel for the world when you're just taking portals, teleporting around everywhere? You don't get to see the actual game, right? It's like, imagine like logging into Skyrim and from day one being able to fast travel to every city in the game.
Oh, it'd be lame. Well, and then back to Gray's point. So in retail now, you take like a portal thing, like when you take a flight path, like you're not on the ground, like you don't see people. Like Classic is so cool when you fly on the Griffin, like it sucks, it takes a long time, but you see people like doing shit on the ground as you go by. Like you can even like, slash wave at them, like as you go by. Like that's neat,
Yeah. Right. Well, it kind of goes back to that same thing too. It all just compounds. You almost need to have. It's so shitty to say you need like bad game design. I'm not saying it's bad game design, but you need a 15-minute flight path from the top of the map to the bottom to. It just makes you appreciate everything. It's
like a scalability of the world.
But it's so bad to say you want to hinder people's time or progress. People don't have time to play that type of game.
Well, it's some I don't know. It's just weird for me. Like retail's good, right? Like that's my problem. Is that it's like I'm in this weird I'm in this weird like between a rock and a hard place because every time retail comes out, I log in, I level to max level for whatever expansion it is that just came out. I play it for like 3 weeks to a month, and then I stop playing it. And at this point, it's like, dude, I'm like 30 years old. I've been doing this my entire life, and I think I'm only doing it now because that's just what I do. It's like autopilot, you know?
You know what I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
you know what I'd
it's
really
okay.
like to do with retail is I would play a fresh retail server. Like to get away from all the blow. And so one thing that's kind of intimidating about retail to me as a classic player is I feel like I have to boost with everybody else. I'm going to level up quickly. Everyone already is max level doing everything. And as bloated as the game is, I think it would be a lot more approachable if it was a fresh server with everybody else being fresh. I'm not trying to be like I know a lot of people don't like that word fresh sometimes.
I don't know.
You need to
that
have
would make-
such a
that would make
huge
retail
population,
manageable.
though. Yeah, but like you could level in any of the expansions, so you'd have to have a massive population to be able to see people in the open world. Yeah.
Well, can you even like would fresh even work on retail because it's like the tokens in from day one, right? So like you would like log in on a fresh retail like locked no transfer server. You'd run over to the auction house. You'd immediately buy like 10 tokens, get a bunch of gold.
Well, there'd have to be gold in the economy first, though, because like the WoW token doesn't.
People do have to buy.
It doesn't generate gold
for your token, bro. You get like 0 gold for your token. That would suck.
It'd be like 1 gold for like $20.
Yeah, screw that. I mean, you kill 2 things in retail, you get 80 gold.
True. Yeah, they've changed all of that too. Like you get to mount at that level like 10 or something like that. I don't know what it is, but
no, you can
early.
mount at 1 now. If you've got the heirloom guy, right? The little dude that chauffeurs you.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it 10 or is it 1 that you can have the chauffeur?
No, one sounds right.
I do walk a lot in Classic.
When was the last time you saw somebody reroll at level 1 on retail? I know they're not 1 for long, but
you don't. You just boost your character to 60 or whatever, and then you level the rest of the way.
Or I know there's a lot of people that like to speed level in retail, and it only takes like I think the record's like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh wow, you could do that. That's a quick.
Yeah,
scene.
so and like lots of people they'll do quests while they do like random dungeon finder and just blow through.
That's kind of cool.
You know, the one thing that I never explored with retail was that melee hunter. Remember when they did the melee hunter build? I don't even know if it's still in the game because I don't think people played it very often. It was like survival was like an all melee hunter build where you could like throw chains and cool shit.
Interesting. Well, Rogue it doesn't even have combat. Like I played Dragonflight.
Outlaw Rogue.
Yeah, it was Outlaw. I was like, okay, interesting.
Outlaw was fun. That was a cool class.
I had a good time leveling.
It.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun time, but I was like immediately pulled back as soon as like I forget what came out right after Dragonflight, but I was immediately done and back to Classic. So
I think the problem that we all have as World of Warcraft players is that I don't think it matters if World of Warcraft comes out with a good or bad expansion at this point, because it's kind of like it's ingrained in our bodies now. Like we have all been doing this for so long. Whenever there's a new expansion that comes out, it's like if AC/DC just like released a new album out of the blue, everyone that likes AC/DC will buy it, whether they like it or not. And they're going to listen to it. And then they might listen to it for 3 weeks and then form their conclusion that, hey, this kind of sucks. This is not as good as it was back when Thunderstruck came out. Right. but they already bought it. Right. They already bought it. They already listened to it.
See, I'm different from you though. I quit Kata, and then the first retail expansion I've played since Kata was was Dragonflight. And I'll be honest, it was because Blizzard gave me a free copy. Like, I probably wouldn't have bought it. So I don't know. Like, I'm not like that. I didn't keep coming back, but I did go to other MMOs and never found what I had lost in vanilla.
It's going to sound super weird, and I'm going to show a side of you that I've never shown before, Bob, or show a side of me that I've never shown to you. Final Fantasy XIV is one of the best MMOs I've ever played in the history of time, and I absolutely love that game.
Everybody tells me to try it, but I just haven't.
I am a strong Giga Chad cat girl. Let me tell you.
Oh my god!
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
This ass game though. That game is very good.
Dude, well, that game looks so flashy. Like you do a move and it's like, I don't know what it is about classic WoW, just the chink.
Oh yeah, classic WoW, you're not the hero, right? And in every other game, you are a massive hero with like these crazy powers. And then in classic, it's just kind of humbling, right? Like you log in, and that's the beautiful thing about hardcore too. It like humbles you extra hard. You log in, you're not the hero. You're just some dude that's leveling, right? You're just just clanking away with a gray broadsword at a kobold.
All right, well, I think I'm tired of talking about retail, so do you guys want to move on?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Time for the news. Just a real quick bit of Wrath news. The Profession Cooldown Changes are coming in with this patch today, if you're listening on Tuesday. The Titan Steel Bar no longer has a cooldown, and then the tailoring Moonshroud, Spell Weave, and Ebon Weave have no cooldowns anymore either. So what I hear, a lot of people are doing those. They're getting those buffs before raid now every time. So something to look into. If your cooldown is active when you log in patch day, you will still have to wait the full time before you have no cooldown again. So fortunately, we can't warn you about this. I hope you didn't use it. So
I have a question, Bob.
What's up?
About Wrath.
Okay, what's your question?
When is the patch that's coming that brings in the random dungeon finder?
That is today. Well, Tuesday.
All right. Well, Tuesday, I am a Wrath gamer again. I'm coming back, and I am slamming my face into that game really hard.
Oh, you could buy you could buy stuff with the new currency that's in like 245 years. So everybody's going for trinkets. I'll be playing a ton of that too. It sucks because so close to 60.
Let's queue up later, dude. Me and you will queue up some random RDFs, dude.
I'll be doing it all day and night tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. So let me know.
Hell yeah. We're going to show people. I want to show Blizzard how many players are excited. Like they should have had RDF from the beginning. I'm just going to say it, dude. That's the hottest topic. Remember when that was like the biggest arguing point back in the day?
People got so mad. Oh my gosh.
What do you...
They should have had it from day one, dude. I would never have quit Wrath if I could have logged in and done a world tour every day using RDF. I gave up because I would log in and there was just no one doing heroics ever.
Do you want Wrath? Do you want Wrath to be like classic, or do you want Wrath to just be Wrath?
I want Wrath to be Wrath, bro.
Yeah, I want Wrath to be Wrath. I like
Wrath. Had in classic Wrath years and years and years ago was using RDF to level my paladin, and that was like towards the end of Wrath, right? That was ICC patch.
Yeah, I like both. I like both games and being able to have both. Like,
do you think people have changed their minds? Do you think all those people that said RDF shouldn't be in Wrath of the Lich King this time around are still playing the game? Do you think they might be?
I was very, very vocally against it, and I haven't touched it since phase 1. So
you were against RDF?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but you were against like using wiki pages and watching YouTube videos, and you were against having fun, C-Tank.
No, but I
don't know. There's something to be said.
From, are those people with that outcry that look that RDF shouldn't be in the game? Are they still playing Are they still playing Wrath? Or did they just have that opinion?
They'll continue to play Wrath. I mean, honestly, if you're on a big server, it hasn't been hard for me ever to get a group going, like or get in a
Oh,
group.
yeah.
But
I'm not worried about the server population. It's just the people that had that opinion, if they're even playing the game.
I don't know, but I was playing.
there are
with you,
people that
Rob,
quit
on Benediction.
because no RDF. There are people that quit because of that. I just don't think people would quit because RDF. I don't think that would have been a thing.
I think the point that Graze is making is like, you know, Blizzard tends to like make changes to the game to appeal to people who don't even fucking play it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Case in point, Asmongold.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Why'd you throw Asmon under the bus?
So true, man. Because he's a
got the
freaking
loudest commentary on the game, and he barely
doesn't
even
play
plays the
Classic.
game.
He doesn't play hardcore.
and he barely played
even hardcore.
Classic. Like if you really think about it, like he was a freaking Classic tourist. I mean, that's just the truth.
And,
like-
and to be honest, bro, you didn't no hate against Asmongold on that point.
Oh no, I like him.
You know,
like I
think
like his
Classic
points and stuff
tourism-
too.
I kind of wish I was a Classic tourist, bro. I kind of wish I played it, I enjoyed it, and then I stopped. You know.
Yeah.
I don't
Here I
know.
am, you know, juggling a hardcore rating schedule and and still trying to play Dark and Darker.
Yeah, are you on the roster now? Are you getting the raids or?
I get in.
I've
whenever I
seen him
sign
in a
up.
few
I just
raids.
don't sign up for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
too busy.
yeah. So just wanted to let you guys know that we'll be talking about all the different changes next week for Wrath when we have people on that, you know, play a lot of Wrath. So look forward to that then. As for
Wait, Bob, are you trying to gatekeep our opinions because you don't think we know about what Wrath of the Lich King is?
well, I didn't know you were going to show back up, and these two guys, I don't think had any.
Oh, so you're going to
any
gatekeep their
plan?
opinions?
I mean, I asked them
It's
prior, and
I
they're like,
like it.
They're like, I don't
Right
play
now, Bob, I'm just right now. I'm saying what Mel's thinking when she listens to this.
it. Well, but I mean, like they don't play Wrath. We were just talking about like
It's fun to
Blizzard
talk
makes
about, though.
changes, you know,
Yeah,
for people
yeah.
that don't play the game.
Well, no, they like people like I swear, like me and C probably, that opinion that RDF shouldn't be in the game, but we don't even fucking play the game. I played Fresh Wrath of the Lich King, by the way, and I had a ton of fun on Sky Fury, and that was kind of that fresh comment I made earlier about retail. I really like showing up to these things, playing for a couple weeks, couple months, and then going next. And I feel like people like me get a lot of hate towards they shouldn't cater the game around your opinion either, and I feel you on that.
Well, I think
There's a
the
ton
number
of
one thing
there's
is
a
that
ton
you
of
should
people
not
like
cater.
you.
You can't cater the
Sure.
game to someone that's a streamer. That's first and foremost.
That's not, but before I'm a streamer, I'm a fresh Andy, bro. I like coming in, playing for a month, and going next, regardless if I'm streaming it or not. I wouldn't be playing.
I'm interested in actually.
Wrath, you know,
I'm interested in your opinion on that, Graze. If you weren't streaming, like if you did not play 8 hours of WoW per day,
right.
if you would have the same opinion on Fresh, because I think if you were like a boomed out dad gamer that got to play like 2 hours twice a week, right?
Right.
I don't think you'd care as much about
I
Fresh.
wouldn't like Fresh as much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're being fair, I am a fresh Andy in another sense of the word, because in Wrath, like new thing coming out, right? But for months, I've been doing nothing but logging into Wrath, going to raid, logging out, going to do something else. Like I only come back for the new thing every time. And like if I got, you know, my raid, like if I got my pre-miss and everything done, say in hardcore, I would go to just raiding in hardcore, or like having to get on just to get my world buffs or get my or like farm for my consumes, but I wouldn't keep playing that high level character. You know what I mean? Like once all of my stuff is done. So I think in essence, we're all like the whole Wrath population is like a fresh Andy. They just want a fresh dungeon to do or a fresh raid to do.
That's a funny way to look at it.
Yeah, because there'd be a ton of stuff I'm going to do here over the next couple weeks in Wrath, but then 6 weeks down the road, I'm right back to where I was, and I'm playing mostly hardcore, you know, while I log in for raid. So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if this is even on topic, but like raiding in hardcore, dude. After doing it, I don't know if Grays can talk on it or C-Dank can talk on it because we've all done it now.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
I'm not
big
gonna lie,
time.
man. Okay, we can wait. We can wait if you're gonna bring it up later.
Yeah, I was just gonna real quickly let everybody know that OTK is doing a hardcore Mak'gora tournament. It started October 6th. C-Dank is the highest level warrior currently right now, right?
That's true.
So do you want to explain to everybody like what this is? Because it's $100,000 prize pool.
Oh, it's a gigantic waste of time for the vast majority of people participating.
Yes, thank you, C-Dank.
There's dude, the thing is, it's gonna be so like weirdly anticlimactic. I think a lot of these duels are gonna be over in like 30 seconds. You know, like nobody's gonna have any gear. I think out of the 2,000. Okay, well, I'll start from the beginning. It's like anybody can join. The winner takes 50 grand. You know, it's you get to level 60. You get as much gear as you can, and then you show up. You do some preliminary like duels to qualify. And if you qualify, you do some Mak'goras, duels to the death, and the person who is left standing at the end, they get 50 grand, and all the people who perform the top for their class, they walk away with like 7. So if you're the best warrior, you get 7 grand. Best priest gets 7 grand, even if you didn't win the whole thing. So it's a really cool tournament format, but it's introduced a lot of weird drama. There's a lot going on here, man. I could talk at length about this stuff, but yeah.
So essentially, from the outside looking in, Bob, if you're not a streamer, you have no chance. So I'll give you. I'm being devil's advocate because I kind of agree with you, C-Dank, but I'll say what the population has been saying. Streamers are logging in at level 1 and getting 1,000 to 2,000 gold traded to them at level 1 with double fiery weapon, and then they're getting mob tagged to 60 safely. Right? And then you've got Joe Schmo in the corner that's leveling who doesn't get any of that benefit, right? And then once he hits 60, they don't get groups for dungeons to get the gear that they need to duel to keep up with these streamers who are just going to be buying flasks and all of the best items in the game and all their consumables, and then you're gonna have to duel those people to the death.
To be fair though, wasn't it kind of set up for the streamers? I mean, like they want more people that have more clout and more reach, right?
I could see that. It's
probably their whole
see it being
reason.
like an invitational type of thing like that. It's open to everybody, but I could see it.
I don't think it's like designed any particular way. Like the way that this they say in their own words is like their foundation of where this starts is anything goes, and then just working backwards from that. So it's an anything goes tournament. You have 3 weeks to prepare. See you at the end of 3 weeks, and whatever happens. And they work backwards from that and just added a couple of rules to make sure there wasn't some like complete BS that would be like boring to watch, right? So but everything else it's just the way the game is designed. The game it's a social game. Okay, if you have influence, if you have friends, if you're going to be more successful in a game like this. And we're in a situation now where people are sort of democratically voting for who they want to win and to succeed. And that's what there's the only top level like level 60 guild on here. They're all helping Zico out because they want him to win. That's just it is what it is, man. And like I've gotten a little bit of help just from turning on stream, and people are like, oh, cool, it's a warrior. I want to help the warrior out. But like, yeah, like you don't have to be a streamer to have influence. Like I don't like the people who say like, oh, you have to be a streamer. Like you could be a guild leader.
Yep, I was gonna say that too.
Exactly. There's lots of ways to have influence, and not everyone's buying gold. Okay, a lot of people are buying gold. I'm not going to name any names, but
a lot of people are buying gold for their streamers that they're giving gold to.
I
got to imagine that's where it's all coming from. So
okay,
you got to be kind of scared though, guys.
How do you keep up with that guy?
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Well,
bro.
okay, get this.
People have been saying that Blizzard doesn't ban, dude.
They've
been nuking bots.
People have sent me gold, right, at different times throughout this whole process, right? Like, what if they didn't send me the gold and they had bought it and just told my character name. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that was happening to Asmongold. Like, what if I, like, so whenever I get a present, I'm like, always like, I don't know, dude. Like, could this be a trap? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but the thing is, it's so difficult for Blizzard to police the gold buying, right? And I've heard some things about new strategies, et cetera, that they might be using to like police and find people and issue bans for gold buying. But the gold selling is the real problem. And that's what they are probably focused more on, is the selling in itself. The botting is the biggest problem, because that's what's getting the gold to the websites that are selling the gold.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just convoluted, right? But either way, with this tournament though, like it's, even if, okay, so even if you're not a streamer, right? Let's say you have influence. Let's say you run a cult in real life, and you, right, and you get your cult followers to log in and like grind gold for you in World of Warcraft and like trade you the gold, right? If I'm a level 1 shaman and I'm leveling in this tournament, and then Zico runs by me on a mage with like plus 30 spell power at level 1 on a skinning knife, it does not make me want to continue leveling that character and like playing the game, right? Because it feels like there's an inherent disadvantage to the people that are supposed to be on an even playing field. Now, it's not OTK's job to make people feel like they're on an even playing field, right? That's
right.
Their job was to put on a show, and they're going to do an incredible job at putting a show on, right? This tournament is going to be amazing to watch, 100%. I just think the time sync on it, I'll play in the next one when solo self-found is hopefully in the game, and they do a solo self-found tournament.
Yes. Even if it wasn't solo self-found, if they would have just spun up a server that was fresh, like a PTR, and they say, guys, it's going to end on November 1st, because I think it's like Blizzard sponsored and they're somewhat involved. How cool would it be to see a fresh PTR server only made for this, and you tell everybody it's closing November 1st.
Where they could test the solo self-found thing too.
If you want to make some quick money, by the way, nobody on the planet Earth plays shaman. So just make a shaman level to 60, win like 2 duels, and you get $7,000.
You say nobody, only the fucking 10-time.
Are you talking about Sea-Doo?
Yeah, dude.
You're going to die pre-60, guaranteed.
No, he's not. He's level 60 on a rogue right now in Frontier.
Guaranteed he dies.
He's raiding next.
Mark my words, clip it and ship
you
it,
guys
boys.
This one,
Sea-Doo dies pre-60.
You want to know something funny about Sea-Doo? So every time I see Sea-Doo, I always think it's Sea-Dank. Well, I guess I've only done it 3 times, and like I'll like fuck with him, and then I realize I'm like, oh, sorry, dude, I don't know you, my bad. Sorry, yep, never mind. I walk away. I've done it 3 times. I'm like, okay, dude, I'm not going to do this again. You're a freaking rogue. You're not a warrior. But I'm just like, I always thought it was Sea-Dank I was running into.
So another question about this tournament is, what is the bracket going to look like? And are they seeding the bracket based on like people's PvP skill, right? Because you might have like Bobka and Sea-Doo and Zico like fighting each other round 1, right? And that might ruin the viewing experience for the tournament.
They're not going to let that happen. I think they're going to try to seed it to where all the competitors meet in the semis or the quarters. Or
I would hope so. Yeah, I would hope there's a first seed, second seed, third seed at least.
Right.
Because you got Saren playing Druid, right?
Right.
Yeah, this is going to be a nasty tournament.
Hopefully all the rank 1 PvPers are participating here aren't participating against each other in the first round. But I doubt they would do that.
Yeah, like watch round 1. Like qualifiers be like Peo Bobka. One of them gets knocked out round 1.
It's really interesting. I think about, so I guess they had to get Blizzard approval. Anything that has a prize pool over like 5,000. I don't know. Blizzard has to give them their graces or something. But
I feel like that's capped, dude. I don't think that's true.
I don't know if that's true either. But I'm curious how this is like beneficial or helpful for the WoW space as a viewer, as a consumer. How does this tournament? How does it benefit you? How does it benefit the future of the game, or does it at all?
I don't think
it's going to be fun to watch. I'm not doing it, but it's going to be fun to watch.
I think that's why Blizzard's not doing it themselves with these tournaments, is because I don't think there is a benefit from having like $100,000 tournament other than just like a really cool memory for people.
Do you think they needed to go one step further and add that PTR? Because if they did add a PTR server and they said, here you go, community.
I do
Run
think a
with this,
PTR
host your
server
day.
would have been way better.
And then now that we've got this test case of a PTR, let's make, we're making progress. We're actually like moving forward on things we might add to the game. I'm just trying to think of how this affects you and I, if you're not participating.
I don't think it affects us at all, other than we get to have a really cool viewing experience.
Yep. Although it is,
and I'll play in one if it's solo self-found. 100% I'll play it. Like I would love the idea of.
Do you think that solo self-found fixes all the issues?
With the duel, like with the tournament itself?
Yeah.
No, not 100%. I don't think it fixes all of them, but I think it fixes a lot of the issues. Yeah.
I've had a real good time not doing solo self-found, but it's a totally different game. It's a totally different game. Like, my warrior would have been really hard to work up if I didn't get a new weapon every five levels, right? Like,
you know what I really hope? I hope this tournament, I hope someone that doesn't stream just comes up randomly, some underdog just shows up and dominates. That's what I hope.
Yeah, I think that everyone's like hyper focused on these like, big names and shit. There are people who like have been just like, casually playing on Hen House for like the past like decade or something. Like they have like, and it's like, you don't know who they are, but they know the game better than like most people. So it's like,
it's also an interesting format too, because like rogues don't get guaranteed openers, right? It's a best of one because it's a Mak'gora.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there are going to be some cheese. It kind of does shake the meta of like the dueling. Like remember CDL back in the day? Like it shakes the meta up entirely because it's not a guaranteed rule set. Essentially, it's a Mak'gora, right?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of weird shit to use in vanilla. It's really smart and cool. I'll be interested to see if we see anything new. Anybody comes up with something new.
I'll tell you what, I've got some shit that's unusual. I just found something out last night that is going to change a lot of matchups for me. And there's the thing is, there's so much that people don't know. Like this is a completely different meta, and everyone's like preconceptions of what this like how it should turn out and who should win and who should be bad. Everyone thinks warrior is like a really, really bad class. But then you listen to like Sea-Doo and Snuts and like actual like rank 1 people like math out in their head like, oh wait a minute, actually warrior is insane because it's best of ones, and like warriors are really good at BO1s. Like,
can I call you on something though?
Except for if there's a mage.
Can I put you on the spot?
Put me on the spot, bro.
Wasn't it the last dueling tournament that you got a mind control cap and then intentionally PvP flagged someone and had someone outside the duel kill them, and then you got DQ'd from that tournament for cheating?
So, okay, first off, yeah, I did that on purpose, yeah.
I love this, dude.
Hold on. So first off,
so are you bringing that level of shenanigans?
Do we have to this?
No. Can I defend myself? You just threw a bunch of accusations at me. Can I defend myself?
Accusations? There's a VOD, bro.
I didn't break a single rule in that tournament. Okay, I did not break a single rule. The rules were anything fucking goes, and they retroactively like went and changed things. Like, okay, what I did was permitted until they decided, oh, I don't really like that. That might cause drama. Let's DQ him. Okay. But like at the same time, I knew I was going to get DQ'd. Okay. I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
True. You did. It was a content play. That's what
it was. A content. It was not. It was no. It was fucking revenge. Okay. There's a whole story here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I knew I'd get DQ'd. I knew it was probably against the rules, but I'll also tell you this, and nobody actually realizes this, but there were at least 5 other people that we made caps for who were going to do it if I didn't. It just so happened that the person who was making the brackets, a friend of mine, just so happened to make the first match of the day, me versus the guy I wanted to kill. So that's
okay. So it's revenge.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, that's permissible. So you're not bringing that level of debauchery to this tournament.
No, absolutely not. And they've already banned all the shit that I wanted to do anyway. I was going to do stuff with world buffs that you can mind control like certain mobs to give you buffs, like the fire resist buff before MC.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I was gonna do something like that with certain mobs. There's stuff I might save for later, but yeah.
Are people going to be farming like full shadow res sets in case they get matched up against a warlock? Like what's the meta looking like?
I already have a crafter for the Dark Rune set, which is like 25 shadow res per piece. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, see, this is going to be insane.
It's going to be
amount
insane.
Of preparation that's going to go into this tournament.
Who all's gonna have a, what's it called? A title charm? Is that what it's called?
Oh, they all gonna have to get one for sure.
No, there's gonna be like 3 like in the tournament or something like because it's like
it's gonna be so hard to stop, so hard to get.
Or how many layers are on Skullrock actually?
I'll tell you what, Snuts right now he's got like permanently he's got like 3 accounts running so that he's got TC Watcher and like 2 clickers. It's a level 20 warlock that's just like switching layers looking for the title charm guy, and he, like as soon as it spawns he's gonna summon himself with the 2 clickers. And go and kill it. Like and
it's not even a for sure drop either, too.
Nope. Yeah. That's what I'm saying is like there's gonna be like maybe 3 in the tournament, and the people who get them, it's gonna be like if I get one, it is a game changer.
So for the listeners that don't know what a title charm is, do you want to explain what a title charm is and how you get it?
It is a 5 or is it 3 or 5 seconds? It's a stun with a 30-yard range.
Yep, range stun.
Wow. Oh my god! Like for a warrior, it's a difference with like what a mage wants to do is like put you in a Nova and poly you, and then you can just from the Nova while he's casting poly, just stun his ass, and like
yes,
now you win. It's over.
It's a trinket that you get off a rare spawn in the Arathi Highlands called the Prince of Nazjac. He's in the water next to all the boats over there, and it's like what, a 48-hour spawn on this guy.
I think it's 50%
drop rate.
I think it's 72 hours.
Okay, so
and it can be anywhere in that 72 hours. Like it's not like, oh, it's dead. It's gonna be 72 hours later. It could be any time. It could spawn right again, or it could wait 3 days.
Yeah, and like Shaman, the only way a Shaman gets a win in a duel in this tournament is by getting a title charm, and then your abilities are Flame Shock, Title Charm, Chain Lightning, NS, Chain Lightning, or Shock. And then you win the duel. It's like you just delete people.
Yeah. Well, you're assuming that they're not already stacked up with nature res, by the way. That's
that's the problem, right? Is I think a mana class in general is gonna have a hard time because the amount of potions that you're gonna have to burn through, you're gonna run out of mana.
You have to realize that all of that like extra absorb, like it's mitigated with your resist as well. So if you're putting on resist, it's like it's not just 6,000 HP, it's 6,000 HP plus 100 nature resist.
Yeah. So like warlocks are OP, but you're like you got to have enough mana to live through potentially 10 GSPPs in the bag of your opponent.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna enjoy watching it. Doing it, no, but
yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to
Bobby. We need to have a talk about this World of Warcraft Classic. Do I look like I know what a WoW token is?
All right, so guys, we got 3 people. I guess technically 4 people from Frontier, but 3 raiders here with us today and 1 mascot. And I want to hear all about raiding in Frontier because it's been nuts. Like I've just been watching the signups and everything, and it's just been out of this world. Like, how are you guys managing? Like, I don't know. I don't even know where to start.
I hate it. I hate every part of it.
Oh no.
Bro, Ompi is working us to the bone. Raiding with this guild is a full-time job in itself, like 60 hours a week. Graves could talk more about it because you've been doing it harder than me.
It's brutal, brother. It's on a fresh server. All the content has been released. You've never seen Classic where ZG, AQ are out right away at day 1. Naxxramas, obviously. All the content is released. So in theory, you could go do Nax trash farms and get servo mechanical arms for your DPS warriors, right? There's always something to do on the server, which is really cool. I feel like sometimes in Classic, by the time AQ gets here and I'm doing my tactical badges, So that's currently what I'm actually doing right now. A lot of this gear, it's 6 months into the game. People are a little bit burned out. The gear actually isn't an upgrade because you've been raid logging MC and BWL, and a lot of this catch-up gear you don't actually use for your main. So maybe it is still useful for your alts, but it's really cool. I've been running around Silithus for the last 90 hours getting an Earthstrike and getting a hit cloak, and these are actual upgrades. It's been really neat, but because all the content is released, it is a full-time job, and I'm a streamer. I play in Frontier. I'm trying to get a raid spot as a Feral Druid. They do okay in Classic. They don't scale as well as Rogues and Warriors, but I do have all the world buffs. I've got my Mandrill Crowd Pummeler, and I'm barely getting into the raid, meeting this DPS check. But it's pretty savage, man. It's pretty savage. If your goal is to raid and you didn't play Rogue or Warrior, I hope you're really good friends with everybody else and have Bisky because it's tough to get a raid spot. But in that same vein, there's people dying every day. The only reason I'm in the raid is because so many Warriors and Rogues have already died. Gordon Ramsay and Serendipities, the other Feral Druids, died. I'm the last one standing. And so in a weird turn of fate, 40 days later after Classic release, somehow I'm getting to walk into Nax today, which I still had to fight for my spot. So while trying to stay alive and being stressed out about playing one life and getting all this bis gear and doing the in-game dungeons, it's also stressful to try and get a raid spot. So like Winky said, it has felt like a full-time job.
It's not just that. You guys have I like read all the stuff. You guys have like homework every day. Like Copy's like, all right, have these quests come completed. Make sure you have these items. Make sure you have these consumes, and he even puts
Absolutely.
the amount of consumes that you're supposed to have. Like 5 of these, 10 of these. Like, I mean, it's like make sure to get your cold rage daggers, just all the stuff, man. I'm just sitting there going, damn.
Well, you know what's crazy? We're doing AQ20 and ZGs, and we're getting world buffs before then. We just did Nax and AQ40. We had to take a break after Nax. We had 3 groups clear Dire Maul Tribute, had everybody get their buffs, get back into AQ. Brother, it was a 5-hour raid day. And in between raids, going and getting world buffs, it was taxing. And I think that's why one of our rogues died on the trash leading up to Cthulhu, because it was the end of a 5-hour session. People were spent. They were beat. And
That's the main issue is, right? It's like, I work a full-time job, right? I'm working 50 hours a week. I get off work and I'm working another full-time job trying to make raids. And it's like, I'm only barely even getting into, I've done every lockout of ZG and AQ, right? So all the 20-man lockouts since week 2 of launch. And it's like, just that is difficult, right? And my role has been, I run these 20-man splits to get the main raiders. They're like, we need our warrior classes to get as much of the gear as they can possibly get, right? And we need our rogues stacked, etc. And it's been fun, but it's like, dude, you gotta, on my lunch break at work, I'm like clocking out and getting DMT buffs and chrono booting, and then I'm going back to work, and then I get off work, and then I'm doing ZGAQ, and then it's like, okay, now I got to go get my buffs again in 2 days when everything resets. And then there's a AQ40 trash farm or a molten core trash farm. Go grind trash for 6 hours. Okay, as soon as you get out of that, go to Silithus. You're gonna run scripts and stuff for people getting Rock Fury bracers and Earth Strike or whatever it's called. Like, it's insane the amount of work that are being put in, right? So I have not been enjoying it that much, no, to be honest. I just want to play the game.
They're doing all this, and there's still a chance that they lose to Hardcore Elite because they like wipe on Patchwork or Saffron or something.
And that is cool. I love that, right? And if I was watching this unfold, it would be really cool to watch. It's hard, dude, and it's hard. Like, in between all of that, right? You got to grind gold because you got to buy your consumes. You got to come with Petri Flask. Right. I popped a Petri Flask in every raid for the last 3 weeks because I got ZHC, and I'm ripping thread on bosses now with like 1 Shadow Bolt crit on accident. And then boom, there's a Petri, right?
I never have gold. It's wild with all the content out right now. I'm perma broke, and I play all day, dude. I'm like online all day every day, and I'm fucking broke. And I don't know if it's because all the content's out and you're constantly getting upgrades, and I'm doing all these other ret farms. And like, dude, I could buy 500 gold worth of Bijus right now and get my 30 AP exalted enchant from ZG. You know what I mean? There's always something else to do. And in a way, this is like WoW's paradise, right? Isn't this what some people want, is like more content to grind on?
Yeah, there's
Endless
definitely
content.
They're like the run out of
Yeah.
things.
there's no shortage of things to do in the end game right now for sure. Unless you're in a guild that has like you're in like the first wave of 60s and there's not really that many people to play with. If you're in a guild that wants to raid in hardcore right now, I'm looking at guilds like Pulp, Fallen on the Horde side, Late on the Horde side, Hardcore Elite, right? If you're in a guild that has a substantial amount of 60s and you want to raid, there is infinite things for you to do currently in the game.
So many buffs. I forgot about all the buffs.
Yeah, in between all this, by the way, Bob, they leveled the Frontier homies have now began leveling Horde characters for War Chiefs. Blessing.
Yes, that's what I was doing earlier. I had a level 20 shaman with a mind control cap, and I'm having to get War Chief's blessing for myself and guildies in Crossroads. And dude, I said the other day I sat in trade chat. I was freaking out because Nax was coming out, and I was the only one without Rin buff. And I was trying to get a raid spot, so I'm spamming guild for 150 gold. And the dude's like, okay, I'll drop it for 150. And I told him, well, I got to give it to you through the neutral auction now. So he's like, okay, I posted it for 172 gold. And I'm like, holy crap, bro, you're killing me. And so I bought his auction, his Scroll of Protection rank 1 for 172 gold. I got 3 other guildies to split it. He dropped it. We capped it. And it's just constant. And you have to do that before every single raid, man. It is nutty. Yo, Seedink, can I get your perspective on your raiding scene, man, and what you and Sardako were doing with those GDKPs for a moment?
Yeah,
I've constantly been clawing my way to get into this raid spot, and I'm barely there, and I'm just curious what your raiding experience has been like.
What's crazy is that, like, dude, Frontier and just like the entire like level 60 population is full of incredible players, like absolutely amazing players that just don't have like a home and aren't being serviced. And like finding like an insane raid of people who just like blast these things, like doing like they look the last raid that Sardaka did look even cleaner than any of the Frontier raids I've seen with just like random people. Like they're nuts, you know. But so it's very, very easy to spin up a GDKP because there's a ton of people who want to raid, who just like Winky was saying, the raid spots are really competitive in these guilds, and you're probably not going to get one. Hey, we're over here, we're doing GDKPs. You want to come? It is very easy to fill. But anyway, it was going very, very well. The only dude, Sardako died in a fucking Ubers the next day because like he just like wasn't watching where his healer was or whatever.
Right. Well, yeah. I think it was the second lockout, and I was lucky enough to get rostered into these AQ20s and ZGs. You needed to get your rep, and it was crazy. There were only 2 groups of these 20-mans that were getting rostered, so that's 40 players. How many do you think there were? The 60s, like 90, 160s at the point. So like over 50% of the 60s in the guild, they weren't getting their lockouts in every 3 days. And so C-Dank and Sardako, they were like, oh, fuck it, we'll run a GDKP. And, I think like 16, 17 of the players are Frontier, and they got 3 other people from the server that did it. And it was really fun to watch you guys, man. Like and I was telling Corvus this too, there was like a brotherhood type of feel behind what you guys were doing. Like, and it felt like an outcast type of thing. It was like, fuck it, dude. Like we didn't get drafted, but we're going to raid anyways, and we're going to make it happen. And your raids, the runs were really fun to watch. And it looked like you guys were having more fun than everybody else, to be honest. And like you said, like you were like producing, you know what I mean? So it's crazy that it burned out pretty quickly because everybody died. I think you died in the GDKP. Sardako died.
Yeah. Well, it's not GG yet. Like we're still doing it. It's just like for me, it's on hold until I'm done with this tournament. But Sardako is like, dude, I don't know what level he is. He's basically almost 60 again. He's just gonna start doing it again. Like they're not going anywhere.
Right. So man, it was really interesting to follow, and I felt like there was like a guild politic behind. It was weird. How do you tell people not to play the game, but you don't want to run too many raids because you're just going to lose people? But people die every single day. It's been a crazy like field study on how people. I don't know. I don't know how I'm. I don't know where to steer the questions going forward, but that's kind of been our experience so far with raiding in Frontier at the moment.
Yeah, it's tough to make everybody happy, right? But I think the GDKPs are really fun, and we're gonna have more of them in the future for sure.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that, like, you know, you could just lose people and then they're gone. You know what I mean? Like, if they don't have, like, are there a lot of people that are working up like other tunes, or not really, because you don't really have enough time, right? Because you're
Don't really have
doing all
enough
the
time
other
at the moment,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, it's
Yeah, everybody's leveling alts right now. I've got 135, 220s, and then my 60, but I don't really want to level anymore.
yeah, I think
Yeah, the longevity. So, like, does this hardcore server, does the raiding scene fizzle out at some point? Does it?
that was going
Do
to be
you
my
ever
next
stop
question.
losing more players than what you're gaining? Because hardcore at its foundation is kind of like a leveling challenge. People love it for the leveling, and we've just kind of raided because that's just what you do next. You hit level 60. What are we going to do with our character?
And once
I don't-
KT dies, how many people are
Yeah.
like, okay, I've had enough?
I don't know. I think it like I see it a different way. I mean, I have like sort of a bloomer take where like I think it's sort of like once people see it's possible, then more people will be interested in doing themselves rather than
Yes.
it being like, oh, the race is over, GG. Like I don't think any the only people who care about like world first shit is like the people that are already in frontier. Like
Sure.
no, I think the vast majority of people are just like they're scared to raid because it seems hard. But then like once there are people doing it, they'll feel more comfortable giving it a shot. But
I
yeah,
agree, C-Dank, completely. I think that a lot of guilds are just now mustering the forces. You know, a lot of guilds that are not longtime homies coming together that have already done hardcore before are finally getting like enough 60s to like step into 20-man raids.
Yeah.
And I think if they see, Frontier, they see Hardcore Elite, they see HC, the Korean guild, right? They see these guilds raiding, they see Zaryu's guild fallen, everyone's raiding and showing that it can be done, right? They might get excited and players might be like, oh, now we have logs to review and we can see what strategies these guilds were using to do this safely on hardcore, right? And it might get more people excited to raid. I know that, I mean, it took us Grays, how long were we doing hardcore at 60 before we even decided that it was possible to try and do Road to Rag? Like over a year and a half, 2 years?
Over a year. Yeah, it was probably close to 2 years.
So it's like I think the official hardcore server is on an accelerated timeline of what we've already been through, right? Where at first it was, can I get to 60? Okay, now can I do a 60 dungeon? Okay, now can we step foot into a raid, right? But now people are seeing this happen over the course of 30 days. All of the raid content is getting cleared. And what I'm worried about is a lot of players are going to see this happen, and you know how classic WoW is. People see you do it, they meme on how easy the content is, and then they go try it themselves and their whole raid dies.
Yeah,
that's what I'm worried about.
There might be some merit to that. I was complaining to Cargos about how low my DPS was as Feralger, and he's like, brother, you're literally playing with some really good warriors and rogues. Like, I'm curious what my experience is going to be like once I stop playing with these guys. I think I'm bottom of the barrel when it comes to the players I'm playing around. It's really unique and like neat that I get to be a part of this, but yeah, what does it look like? What's the next clear? I know HC Elite's coming up soon. I mean, honestly, bro, you just put world buffs on, you get out of the rain of fire, and you win the game, man. Like, it's not that hard, is it?
I'm telling you, Grays, it's not even the difficulty of the raid. It's the caliber of the raid leader. It's the biggest difference, bro. I'm telling you, like these guilds are gonna watch Ompi raid lead. They're gonna watch. Who's the raid lead for Hardcore Elite? Is it Dell? They're seeing these raid leaders, right? Just absolutely leading their teams to success. And yeah, there's some deaths along the way, right? That's granted. It's hardcore. And I'm worried, bro. I'm worried that people are going to think that it's easy. They're going to go in and they're going to make a bad call and they're going to wipe the raid, right?
Yeah, I would not want to be a raid leader at all.
you can kind of just imitate what they're doing. You know, once the foundation is laid, you can just say, oh, this is how they did it. So we just, you know, like it makes things a lot more approachable.
100%.
But my concern is something else that you brought up was how like the replacement rate is really fucked right now, where it's like if you lose somebody, it is so massive. And like I wonder, like, and I've talked to Kargaz about this, like it felt so good in Psalm to have like that XP boost where like the rates in Psalm felt like so good, like where it was still like a long climb to the top, but it wasn't so long that it was insurmountable. You know what I mean? I think that the 1x vanilla grind is such a fucking bitch that like that's going to be the main thing that prevents an end game than anything else. And if they really wanted to, promote and a healthy end game, then some sort of like adjustment to the XP rates, in my opinion. But, yeah.
I think that's
a lot of people would argue that's the end game isn't the point, though, right?
I'm so against XP rate increases.
And the reason why it felt good, bro.
Some
did feel good. It did feel good.
It felt good, man.
Okay, listen. It's called hardcore. It's not called easy core, right? It's not
leveling slower.
It's not meant.
It's just a moniker. It's supposed to be hard.
The thing about the 1x
long
grind,
core right now.
Right? Yeah. The thing about the 1x grind on official servers, the 1x grind gets exponentially faster because you're allowed to trade. You're allowed to use the auction house. You can group up for elite quests.
This is true.
You can do multiple dungeons.
It's not solo self-found 1x.
It's not solo self-found. Like that is your XP increase, right?
That is true.
On Psalm, sure, you had a 40. What did it go up to eventually? 100% bonus XP or something like that.
100%.
It did, yeah. It ended at
40% felt good.
It felt so bad, bro. So okay. I guess if you're an in-game enjoyer, I can totally see why the XP increase feels good. But if you're someone that just like wants to play the game and like level slow and like challenge, you want to complete vanilla WoW without dying and prove to yourself that you can do it, get to 60 without dying on 1x, right? I feel like if you boost the XP rate, you're kind of robbing that satisfaction from the player base that just wants to try and level.
Then you should be able to toggle that on the same way you can toggle on SSF. You can like, do you want to, go super slow? Like you can toggle that on.
The problem is if you make it a toggle, everyone's just going to have it on.
I wonder why that is, but yeah, like, okay. Yeah.
Because people follow the path of least resistance. You know that, C-Dank.
Yeah. But like, it might just be, better for the game overall, like that the longevity and health of the game for people, like when it's too punishing just to be put on a 2-week plus timeout while all your friends are out doing end game and having fun together, and you literally can't do anything with them. Like, it sucks.
I think I'm with C-Dank here, just because like if they do a solo self-found server, yeah, like the 1x, but I'm pretty cool with like double XP right now, like because I'd love to work up every character. I don't know, like it is a long thing.
You can work up every character on 1x.
I know you can. It's just like I just don't know if I'll have the time to do that.
I feel like if you're leveling faster, and this is what I felt like in Psalm, it almost devalues the risk associated with what you're doing at endgame. Yeah. You're not as worried because if you die, you just I'll level a new tune tomorrow. Right. I'll play for 24 hours and be 60 again.
Well, okay, it shouldn't be a 24-hour 60, right? Like that's too much.
Yeah, I don't think it would be. I mean, what's the average days played for a level 60? 7 or 8?
It's probably like if you're a normal
probably like
dude,
11.
It's probably like 9 or 10 if you're a normal player, and then if you're following RXP, it's probably 6 or 7.
So half of that sounds fine to me. That's days. Like
that's
full
days,
24 hours.
Dude, I used to do solo self-found those streams very consistently. It took me 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday, for 4 weeks to hit 60 solo self-found. I did that on 3 characters. So that just gives you an idea. It takes a month, bro. It takes a month. It takes a month straight to get one character to level 60. And
I would like
probably
that.
6 weeks.
I like that though. I like the fact that it takes time to earn. So you're actually earning something when you're playing hardcore at 1x, right? And then you don't want to lose what you earned because you worked really hard to get to where you are at 60. But I mean,
I can see both
that's
sides.
just my take.
I can see both sides.
I'm not going to
It-
sit here and say you're wrong for wanting higher XP either, right?
the highs are higher, the lows are lower, but I think the swing is too far. But
Yeah, and it's again, I think this only affects you if you're someone that strictly just wants to get straight to the end game and go fast. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of the point of hardcore, at least for me, is the fact that hardcore WoW forces you to slow down and enjoy the world of Warcraft again. Keyword world, right?
there's multiple ways to approach hardcore for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like
Yeah.
it's the same. It's kind of the same argument as to why I don't like mob tagging and I don't like crab hyperspawn farming, or like I like doing the quests. I like getting out there. I like spending that little bit extra longer of time to just actually have fun doing what I'm doing. And everyone's definition of fun is different, so I totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know. What if there was like a thing where if you worked up a certain class, then any time you, like, say you worked a warrior to level 60, anytime you started a new warrior, not any other class, warrior, then you get double XP. Like it's your second, third, fourth time around. It could be
So
in
I've
between.
thought of that, where it's I do like the idea of like a prestige system where it's like if you get a character to 60, whether you die or not, like you get like a bonus for your next character or something. That would be cool. I like
Yeah,
leveling
I think that would
so
be
much
neat.
in hardcore that I would like if there was a button to like hit 60 and then go back to level 1 but have like plus 10 to all attributes. I would legit just do that all day every day and just hit 60 back to level 1 and then just get, exponentially stronger over time. I would love that. But that's like a classic plus thing that I think would be really cool.
Interesting.
I like
Yeah.
the idea of prestige. That's kind of cool.
I'm just curious, like, how long people are gonna go for after KT's down. Like, as far as Frontier goes, as far as Hardcore Elite goes, like, I don't know. Is this their home now forever? This y'all's home? Like, I think Gray's is going to Fresh if Fresh comes in whatever
I've
form.
always said that too, bro. But I mean, I played hardcore. It kind of comes in waves for me. I like doing something else, and I come back. I gravitate back to hardcore, and I'm asking myself the same question. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing this or not. Is this going to be my break where I raid log and I hang out with the boys for 6 months, a year at a time, or am I just going to move on to the next thing again? So I'm curious to see. I have the same questions as you.
I mean, a lot of it's for me is gonna be, dependent on what they announce at BlizzCon. Like, supposedly, Classic's gonna be. Supposedly, there's a bunch of stuff. So I don't know. Until I know what's coming, like, I don't know. I don't even know where this show's at. So
But
All speculation.
I think the proof's in the pudding with Hardcore Elite. Like Frontier, we might stop rating. It's another issue that we're very much a content creator guild. And you know how content creators are, Bob. One, they're hard to schedule to do anything with. And two, they're on to the next thing as soon as it's announced, right? Every day, every time. So, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just difficult to have long-term plans with a content creator guild, and it always has been. Even look at back in 2019, the S-Fans guild, when S-Fan quit and moved on, he was smart enough preemptively to set his guild up with leadership that wasn't him. So because he knew as soon as the next thing comes up, I'm out, right? I'm going to go do my content creator thing because that's my full-time job. And I want this guild to still remain strong and prosper and be a good guild that's got longevity.
They're still going to this day.
Yeah, and they're still going. And guess what? As fans playing Madden, right? And that's fine. That's totally okay, right? It's just I don't think Frontier is going to stick around very much longer once KT dies. And if it does, it's going to be a specific, probably one raid team, homey group of people that have found their new home. But the one thing I can guarantee is that Hardcore Elite will be around forever on the hardcore server. That guild has already been there since SOM. You know, they've been doing it for a couple years now on Classic Era, and they're going to continue doing what they're doing on official, guaranteed. That like they just invite anyone that hits 60 that wants to raid, has a welcome spot in Hardcore Elite. You can join them. They'll teach you how to play. They'll teach you how to raid. They'll give you their strategies, and you can enjoy endgame with them. 100%.
Unless they don't like you, but yeah.
Unless you're C-Link.
Yeah, they don't seem to be overly sweaty from what I've seen outside looking in.
They definitely have sweaty players for sure. I just don't think that they've got a full core of people that are sweaty.
Yeah, I remember when Apricot came on the show, she talked about how so many of them had never even played retail or any WoW prior to hardcore. Thought that was interesting that, you know, so they just don't even know what the other game was ever even like. They've only played hardcore. I thought that was, to be honest, weird. I thought it was weird. Like,
I think it's cool that people
I think it's cool.
find WoW through hardcore, right? It's been happening with a lot of RuneScape players recently that I follow on like YouTube. They've all shifted their YouTube channels because they're all playing so much hardcore WoW, because they're Iron Man RuneScape players. So like hardcore WoW is like the thing that they needed to finally try World of Warcraft, which is really neat to see.
That is funny. Well, I don't know. I think hardcore is going to be interesting to see what goes in the future. It's also going to be interesting to see how many people like me are going back to Wrath here for a bit and kind of taking a pretty big break from hardcore, compared to what I've been doing. I mean, I've been playing it every day, playing my lock during the day and then my warrior with my wife at night, and like pretty much been playing 12 to 14 hours a day on it. And now I'm going to go to rating IACC with 4 characters. Like it's going to be rough for a bit. So I'm curious to see how many people leave for Wrath and then we'll come back later.
Can I give you some homework, Bob?
Sure.
For this goes for anyone that's playing Wrath right now. Ask yourself next time you go to a GDKP why you care about how much gold you have on Wrath. Why do you care about your character other than just getting gear and doing raids and like hanging out with your guild, right? What are you doing that you give a shit about in Wrath, right? Because eventually the expansion that you hate is going to come out, the classic version of it, and you're going to quit again, right? So it's like, once you get enough gold for your consumables for every week for the entire expansion, what's the point?
Well, for me, having the more gold, I get to play with really good players in my GDKPs. Take that back to my guild, take back strategies, different things. And I've asked myself this, I've at this point, I don't even care about gear. I've turned into I don't care about gear. Like if I don't get the big drop, whatever. I just enjoy raiding. I enjoy I don't want them to become more complex than this. I enjoy the complexity of the rotations now. And I enjoy improving my play each time, and it's like, They're pretty fast. They're pretty easy, but like, I don't play any other part of the game at all, really. Like I just enjoy that part.
That's kind of what I'm saying though, is like once you've got enough gold to sustain however many characters and of however many lockouts that you need for the entire expansion that you're playing, you literally can raid log for the entire expansion and have just as much fun as if you were logging in all day, every day, running heroics, doing whatever, running GDKPs. It's like, I think Classic is going to end up in this really weird situation where it's just eventually going to be progressing into retail, right?
I mean, yeah.
So at which point do we hang it up, right? When are we putting the code on the coat rack and saying, well, Classic, it was fun. I'll see you next Vanilla Fresh.
That's the question I've been asking forever. Is this show going to even keep going on? Like if I'm not having a good time with whatever is going on in Classic, like I'm not going to do this show. Like It's just the way it is. I'll find something new and I'll start a new podcast. It's what I did with Overwatch. I loved Overwatch, but then they made it suck and I left. You know?
That poor game, dude. That poor game is just so dead.
Well, anybody else got anything else to add? Any fun stories or anything left? I know we've been here about 2 hours. I know you guys don't want to be here forever. So anything to add?
I hope I don't die. Oh, what do I do if I die on my character right now?
What do you do?
You go on,
Yeah, what do
you-
I do if I die on my character?
You jump on Wrath, bro, and you start running Skolo on a paladin.
I think there's always money in the G, or there's always you can always make a character for a GDKP. You know what I'm saying? So like if you fail the frontier thing, then you know you can always come run 20 mans with us and shit. So
Yeah, I'm not sure, man.
Or you send it to Era, you become a world PvP god.
This is that looming gray cloud hanging over my head all the time.
I've been wanting to. I was like, I've got my Bist, like, well, not Bist out, but very close to Bist out warrior from, you know, from Classic Vanilla. I did pay for him to get copied. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever use this, but I want to look at my cool gear. I've got all my I've got my my flash set that ticks for like 750 health every 3 seconds, and like I've got like all this. I thought about, what if I just go back and raid Nax once a week, just to pump one more time. I don't know. There's a lot to do now. That's what's cool. There is a lot to do if you like all three things.
Wait, do you think that if there's a Classic Plus, it should be fresh, or should it be like you can take your era character that has full tier 3 and go there with it?
I mean, I kind of hope just everything's fresh, man. Like, because I mean, if they're doing Classic Plus, like, I almost feel like, oh, I don't know. This is a tough one. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Either of you guys?
For it to be fresh. Yeah.
Always chasing the fresh. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's been so messed up from all the RMT stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they fix that. I mean, every single game has that problem, and every single game has bot problems. It's not just WoW. So, and then I know people say, well, private servers don't, but private servers are nowhere on the scale of the size. So I don't know.
Just a thought.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
If I die, I think me and Wiki are like very much like just like to level up tunes in hardcore. That's really all we're really there for. So I mean, if I die, I'll just make a new tune.
Even if my character stays alive, I'm gonna slow down on this Feral Druid because I don't want to farm pummelers. All the content's out, bro. I actually can't farm enough pummelers to like a raid every single day. So I probably take a break from this guy. I was hoping to like dual level with somebody, level up a new tune.
Just like chill. I mean, I have
You
the
said
most
we wanted to
fun
dual
with
level
my
rogues.
wife.
Yeah, dual level rogues with Winky would be fun.
Graves wanted to do a duo with me with rogues, and then we made a plan, and then I pull up Twitch the next day, and he's leveling a rogue.
Yeah, that did happen. I got that's the problem with the content Andes, dude. Dude, I've been so out of time. I can't wait to take a break. I'm just kind of gassed at the moment.
Yeah,
Bro, have you seen the death
nice
clips?
slow, like some nice slow golf in there, and just chill.
Have you seen the death clips where people are dying and they're like, "Yes,
Yeah, I have.
I am released."
For the first time, there's actually a solution. Like, you know, normally people play this game like crazy. I think we all can relate to. It's just what you do. I don't know. It's a part of you at some point. But if you die on a level 47 character in hardcore, you literally need to reevaluate what's going on. And you're like, yeah, dude, I don't have the time to reroll and run this character again.
Well, and I've been saying this forever. I think like 1 to 20 or 1 to 30 is the hard part. I mean, for most characters, once you get into the 40s, like, you got all your tools, you know, like, as long as you don't do something dumb. But, like, earlier than that, man, it can be rough without all your tools.
Yeah, it's a bell curve. It's harder 1 to 20, and then it gets easier from like 20 to 40, and then it's harder 40 to 60 again. Because 40 plus, you start fighting mobs that just like every mob in the open world just has some random ability, you know?
Yeah, the abilities that'll just throw you off, and you're like, oh, wait, I didn't know they had that. Like, Graves was fighting some big old rock guy today, and he was like, oh, I didn't know he did that. Like, he did like a knockback or something.
Yeah, a knockback, knocked me up in there, stunned me, fire blasted. I was like, holy shit, dude, this guy's kind of scary.
The tricky ones are when you're paying, like, let's say you're a warrior main, and you switch to like a hunter, right? There's so many mobs that have specific interactions with, like when they're fighting more than one person. So like if there's two things on the threat table, mobs have more abilities. Like they'll
they have
sheep you and
sleeps and
stuff,
shit.
right?
Yep. Dude, this little I was doing the what's it called? Legend of Stalvin quest. And I went to the little farm at Ever whatever over there on the right side of Elwood Forest. Yeah. And that's where you do one of the chests and the ghost comes out. Well, this is this level 12 guy just AFK at in the top of the house, and I'm like, you have no idea how dangerous it is right here. And then I'm like killing the mob, and I'm like, dude, if we both go on this table, she's gonna sheep me and destroy him. Like, because she freaking sheeps. If there's two people. And I was like, oh God, please don't die, dude. Please don't die. I feel bad for you.
I'll give you some lore on that specific quest and that specific inn. There's one person in history that has died this way in hardcore. That she can sheep you, and you can automatically path as a sheep into the fireplace on the second floor of that house.
And then you're trapped.
And then the damage breaks the sheep from the fire tank.
I remember
you're
seeing
trapped
that
in the fireplace, and you get slowly cooked alive.
And you can't hearth because it keeps ticking.
Yep.
But now you can Alt F4 character unstuck.
Yeah, that's the only way that you could solve that. But we used to have unstuck feature banned in hardcore.
Yep. That's what I've utilized quite a bit. That's one that can save your ass too. If you get booted while you're on a ship or while you're on a flight path, you could just don't log back in that tune and just log in a other tune and unstuck. Boom, you're saved.
I made the mistake of unstuck. I DC'd into Lockmadon, so I character unstuck on my warrior. And I logged in outside of Oldham as a level 17 warrior.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Logout skipped me straight to Oldham.
Oh my God.
Like the portal. Like I was in the cave and my Hearthstone was on cooldown, so I immediately had to log out and like try
and you were
and
too
wait.
low. You were too low to zone into Oldham.
Yeah, I was way too low to zone in, yeah.
Dude, who else did I see? I saw Desi. She logged out. She was in one of those caves that has the pool of water. It's like right in the middle, like starting area for Alliance, Dwarf, and Gnome. There's a cave like that, the left side. It's got a pool of water. She logged out there so she could check some clip. She logged back in. I forget where she was. She was like, but she was in like the mobs were like 30 levels higher than her. I forget where it put her, but it was hilarious. And she's just hearthing and just praying that she doesn't die. But there's some weird logout skips that lots of people don't know about. So log out on solid ground. All right, well, I think that's gonna end out the show, guys. Pull on my little. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. You can follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. If you want to email us, it's WCRpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join our Discord, it's discord.me/Warcraft Reloaded. Or you can go to warcraftreloaded.com to find all of our links, Patreon, Rested X, XP code reloaded, Rogue Energy code reloaded. If you want to help support the show. And yeah, that's going to do it. Winky, where can we find you?
Right here, eating a steak.
I'm starving right now. I'm going straight to get food. What about?
I appreciate it, Bob. Thanks for having me on, dude.
Oh, well, hey, you're okay. So I was watching F's, and I think you do one. You asked your audience. I think you do one show, and you just cut the first half of it and put that on audio.
Yes. So that's what I'm going to do. I was going to ask you about that actually. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yep, because that would be great to have the discussion part on podcast platforms. Be really cool.
Yeah, perfect. I got a lot of feedback on that saying that that's what I should do as well. So I'm stoked about it.
Yeah, because if I watch live, I want to get the commentary before watching the clips. Like I like the whole thing together. So on YouTube, it's great, but I think a lot of people would really like that, and it might push other people to come to the YouTube too.
To be honest, I think over time, as the years have gone by, people are more into just the talking part than the death clips anyway.
Yep, because that's why people like this, is because it feels like they're in the room with us talking.
Yeah, well, they are. They're typing in the chat. We're responding to it. It's dope, man. I love the community. For all the things I hate about the Warcraft community, I love the people that we surround ourselves with. You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh, and C-Dank, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me streaming on twitch.tv/cdank. That's where I'm at.
That's CDANK, right?
That's me, man. Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Grays?
Probably on the next Death compilation on Classic Hardcore Highlights. So make sure to watch Classic Hardcore Highlights, and you might see me there.
07, buddy.
No, twitch.tv/Grays for days. We stream there, so.
And that's Grays with an A, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Somebody tried to correct me the other day when I said that they put an E there, and I was like, no, it's GRA. Pretty sure it's on Twitch right now.
Anyway.
All right. And you can find me on Twitter at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB, or find me on Twitch and this show live at Blazin' Bob. No underscore. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention? The call-in number is 816-866-1066 or speakpipe.com/Warcraft Reloaded if you want to be in on the conversation. Let's get out of here, guys.
Yo, what a fantastic show. Thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you very much for checking out Warcraft Reloaded podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content.